Hello, and welcome to a special flash episode of Paizo Live. My name is Aaron Shanks, and I'm Paizo's marketing and media manager. And I'm pleased to just spend the next few minutes talking to a special guest during this intermission of Pathfinder One Shot Headshot the Rot. I hope you're all having a great time. Uh, Today, we get to interview Adam Bradford, Development Officer at Demiplane. Adam, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Aaron. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so just a day or two ago, we surprised the tabletop role playing game uh, industry with the announcement of a new partnership between Paizo and Demiplane, announcing a new product called Pathfinder Nexus, and that is the subject of the interview tonight. But first, I wanted to find out a little bit about you, give everybody some context about who you are and what brought you here tonight.
Yeah, I'm here tonight because you asked me to be here, and I would not say no to you. So that's the reason I'm here. But then we'll get back into the who I am a little bit. And so I am Adam Bradford. I am the Chief Development Officer at Demiplane, and working here on Pathfinder Nexus. I previously spent about a decade in the defense and aerospace industry, doing all sorts of things along that time, and then most recently was working at a company called Curse that was then acquired by Twitch, that was then acquired by Fandom, but founded D&D Beyond, and joined Demiplane in February. And we started talking to Paizo pretty quickly after that. And now we are in the middle of creating Pathfinder Nexus, the official digital toolset for Pathfinder. And I really just couldn't be any more excited to be working on such a great game. And my favorite color is gray. So that probably, is everything you need to know about me.
Excellent, excellent. All right, so that frames who you are and how you got here. Tell us more about Demiplane, and we'll kind of start with the big picture and kind of drill down. Demiplane is the company that makes Pathfinder Nexus. It's new, right?
Yeah, it is very, very new. And so the company was founded by Travis Frederick and Peter Romanesco. They have been lifelong friends. They started out, as so many wonderful stories in this industry, started out playing all of these kinds of games as they were younger, and they went their separate ways, at the college time. But they always kind of rediscovered each other through these games. And so they started Demiplane a year ago or so, and really the goal was a very lofty and grand goal, and that was to make every part of playing these games better. And so Demiplane, until recent months, has been on a mission to help people discover and find games and groups people to play with. And so on demiplane.com right now, you can go and you can do matchmaking. You can find games for people to play with in 180 different kinds of role playing systems out there. And so we've really been just pleased to see how many people are using the platform to find each other and to discover, what could be new lifelong friends as they're playing these games together. And Demiplane allows you to tip your game master. So hopefully to simulate the idea that in the before times, before pandemic days, of being able to go to each other's house and maybe bring some chips or soda with you, you can throw a few dollars your game master's way. But then also there are paid games on the platform, and we've got some great professional game masters out there running games. And as we were looking at how does Demiplane evolve into something that is going to be indispensable for people playing tabletop role playing games, moving into digital tools and being able to provide that kind of support always made sense. And so when I joined the company in my former gig, it was always a dream of mine because I play so many games out there. So absolutely have played D&D, but played so much Pathfinder. There are others that I really wanted to see the kind of digital support that D&D has enjoyed for some time. I really wanted to see that happen for some of these other wonderful games out there. And Paizo and Pathfinder and maybe Starfinder one day it makes complete and total sense, and so that's where we wanted to go first with this.
Excellent. I really wanted us to explore who Demiplane was before Pathfinder Nexus. Let's just touch base for a moment about who it's not, what it's not. My understanding is I would not call Demiplane a virtual tabletop provider. I would call it a theater of the mind provider. Like if that's your default play style, it's great for video chat and theater of the mind, perhaps text based as well. What am I missing? Is that correct?
No, I think I definitely think that there's a lot of validity there. We are making Demiplane to provide that play space, and that play space can absolutely include any of the virtual tabletops that you want to use. So there are ways for screen sharing and ways
Oh,
to
great.
have that open as you're going
Hmm.
into it. Some groups absolutely love playing with virtual tabletops. In my past life, I got a really unique view into just the trending of how many people, and I am sure that the pandemic spurred a good bit of this, but how many games are trending to some of that theater of the mind. So this is where, as we all started quarantining, we saw that people were moving to Zoom and Discord and those other kinds of places to get together and play these games. And so at Demiplane, we said, hey, we want to help support gameplay and getting people together. So we did introduce video and voice chat. So that's something that works out there today on the platform. And yeah, if your group is wanting to use theater of the mind, Demiplane is a great solution for that. If you want to use a virtual tabletop, you absolutely can do that, and we will look for ways that we can integrate with those as we go forward as well.
Excellent. Thanks. I think that's a really important frame of reference for everyone. And now to go into Pathfinder Nexus itself. What is it? How do you explain what Pathfinder Nexus is to someone who um, might not have heard about the functionality before?
Yeah, it is a digital tool set. And so, really, what we are looking for here is to fill some of the gaps that, aren't always explored to the fullest extent. And really, we're just looking for where are the biggest needs? What are the things that are going to provide the most convenience in order to enhance games as you're playing them? And so, as we look at this, we really have approached this with four pillars. And the first pillar is empower the rules. And so, we were talking a little bit before this. Pathfinder it's such an expansive game, and it has a lot of rules, and these rules are incredible. And we wouldn't have these games without rules. And so, one of the things that we want to do is we want to do the best that we can to provide convenience that can help mitigate the negative aspects of those rules sometimes, which are taking a long time to look something up, potentially not knowing what your options are when you're creating a character, all in one place. And so that kind of convenience and empowering the rules is a big part of what we're trying to do. But managing characters is another huge pillar for us, because we do see that as a cornerstone and something that people really, really gravitate towards. And so, thinking about you could list off 100 things that people use while they're playing these games and say, hey, can you play Pathfinder without X or without Y or without Z? And often that answer comes back, yes, you can play the game without those things. But then when you ask, can you play the game without a character? Of course, you can't play the game without a character. And so we are going to be really tripling down on making that character experience incredible. And so I remember how much time I completely we'll say wasted now. At the time I didn't think I was wasting it, but just staring at the imaginary character that I had in the World of Warcraft armory, and had to make sure that I was minimizing windows as my boss walked by behind me, and all of those things. So it's like just how much I was connecting to that character. And that's the thing I love about these games and the stories that we get to tell with these games, is how much people connect with these characters that they've created. And so for Demiplane and Pathfinder Nexus, the real keystone foundational thing that we're doing is we're going to make a character management system that is hopefully just going to be incredible, and it's going to really make that whole process to where people are going to love looking at their character, dreaming out their character's future, like I used to do in the armory, and being able to do that on any kind of device wherever they are. If they want to do a literal pickup game at a convention, they can sit down and create a character in 5 minutes and be ready to go and have that right there on their phone. That's the experience we're looking for there. And then the other couple of pillars is facilitate gameplay. So the other wonderful thing about joining Demiplane and having that play space and having the
Yeah.
ability for people to have video and voice and all those elements, and then to be able to kind of have a place to put all of these digital tools. That's really exciting. And then finally connecting the community. So we're going to have content. We're going to have forums. We're going to put out streams. We're going to give the community additional ways to engage with this great game.
Excellent. Those four pillars make a lot of sense to me. What you said was rules mastery, rules empowerment, character, really creating an easy way to create characters. Pathfinder is known for its deep character customization. So it's really great to be able to look through all of those options digitally is a really powerful experience. We've all grown to love it. You've talked about finding games, gameplay, facilitating gameplay, connecting players to GMs virtually, and then just finding out who's doing what, when, where, when, where, and when. And lastly, community, which you know that's really been as an aside, that's something we're very aware of at Paizo, just how important our community is to the health and vibrancy of Pathfinder and Starfinder. And so great, I think that really kind of tells everybody what the four pillars are. We need to make clear that this was the announcement of a game that has yet to launch, a tools set, I should say, that has yet to launch. What does that timeline look like?
Yeah, so the trailer says this winter, and so I guess we technically have until what is that, March 15th or
Yes.
whatever shifts us out. But yeah, it is coming soon. The target is the first quarter of next year to have what we are considering the full launch, and so that is right now we are in early access. So yesterday we announced, and we do have some early access at the moment. It is the digital reader, the starting point of the digital reader. But I do want to emphasize to everyone that this is not the full product by any means. There is much more that we're going to be adding over the course of this early access period. But we do have a great team, and we're moving very rapidly. And so I'm really excited to see that progress. And essentially, over the course of this early access, you're going to see that with the primary phases that we have is we have this digital reader coming out. We also have enhancements coming to that. So there will be those tooltips. There will be annotations. So think almost like a Google Doc where you can take notes in that digital reader. There will be compendium listings. So you can go and find spells and use advanced filters to find exactly what you're looking for creatures, items, all of the different game elements. There will be class primers where you can go to the alchemist and you can see not only what is printed about the alchemist in the core rulebook, but you can see all the options aggregated from any other book that has come out to provide alchemist options and so on. So that's the second big phase that we'll be in. And then finally, it's the character management phase. And so that will really close out what we're considering early access, and people will be able to build characters and use an interactive digital character sheet at the table, virtual or otherwise. And then we have an extensive roadmap. We'll go into encounter management and any other sort of way that we can bring more convenience to people while they're playing this game.
Excellent. Well, I think that's all we have time for tonight. Obviously, I could talk to you further another hour, but the wonderful thing is, the partnership has been established. I'm sure we'll be talking about this in the weeks and months to come, and I'm really excited about what you've shown us and told us about tonight. So, thank you very much. I will go back to part two now of Pathfinder One Shot, Headshot the Rot. I'll be back in December for another episode of Paizo Live. Until then, adventures ahead.